Welcome back. Our second guest is holistic counsellor Barbara Jackson, and we'll be talking about the benefits of sound healing. Welcome to the program, Barbara.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be back, Melissa.
What is sound healing?
Sound healing is where we tune into different tones, different sounds, different frequencies that may help us to feel a bit brighter, help us to calm down a little bit. So if we look at the history of sound healing, the Australian Aboriginal people started using didgeridoos for the benefits of sound healing 40,000 years ago. And what they were finding is this was helping people on many, many levels, mental, emotional, spiritual levels. And if we look through the generations, we look through the decades and the eons, people have used and continue to use sound in many ways that is beneficial. It may be looking at the Indian cultures who use chanting, they use gongs, they use sounds, and also even humming can be a very calming sound for us and bring us into our body. When we look at more cultures like the African cultures, they use a lot of the drumming. There's also the Native American cultures use the shamanic drums. And there's more research, medical and science, that is proving that different frequencies can help us medically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually. So using it, whether we are tuning into music ourselves, whether we are going to a specific class, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's in a group setting, what's happening is we then giving ourselves that time and that space to tune into vibrations. And the different frequencies connect with us on different levels. So we may, if we want to feel more upbeat, we may put some happy music on, some faster paced music. If we're feeling stressed and we want to just take a breath and calm down, we may find classical music or more soothing music. So with sound healing, what that is tuning in to those particular frequencies and taking us into a more relaxed, calmer state where we can let go of tension in our body. It can also help with stress, with anxiety, with depression, and also helping people to have more clarity and focus and balance in their lives, feeling a lot more grounded. So when we understand what type of sound resonates with us, we can then tune into it and find that it can help us in so many ways and on so many levels.
Do you think sound healing is for everyone? Can everyone get some benefits?
Absolutely. So when I started talking, I couldn't say two words together without stuttering really badly. My grandmother taught me how to sing my sentences, because when we sing, it's very melodic and the words flow into each other. When we speak, the words are cut off in between each word. And that is how I learned to speak without stuttering. So this is something that anybody could use at any age. You look at people on some of these programs, people who have Tourette's. They can sing perfectly and beautifully, and yet when they speak, the Tourette seems to elevate again. When I was pregnant with my children, I have cats, being an animal lover, and the cats would sit on my lap and up on my belly and purr, and the babies would sing and dance and move around a lot in my belly because they enjoyed that vibration, and it was gentle and it was nurturing. So when they were born, they were very comfortable around animals because they were used to that vibration and they found it soothing. They also say that when women are pregnant, to play soft music, to play soothing, comforting music. And even when our children are young, we may often put some soft music in the background, or what we call white noise, which is just a sound that helps them to go to sleep without that absolute silence. And with sound as well, Melissa, this can be found through what we call singing bowls or shamanic drums or the Tibetan bowls. So people can seek out different classes or groups They may join a drumming group to play the drums or to learn to play the singing bowl. So not only to attend, also to enjoy the instruments for themselves as well.
What tips would you like to give people who would like to use sound healing?
Notice if you're feeling a bit flat or you've had a stressful day, you get in the car, what do you want to do? You either want silence or you want some really upbeat music or looking at that calming music. So take note when you're feeling in different states of mind, tuning into what music you're looking for. And the other thing as well is always seek professional advice and guidance. So when we're looking at people who are experiencing depression or post-traumatic stress disorder, because they often feel so low and unmotivated and flat, and it's really a challenge to even get out of bed. So their professional may help them with a program that might have some more uplifting music, something that they can resonate with though, because not all of us will resonate with the same music. Some people like heavy metal, some people like classical, some people like pop. Some people like jazz. So it's also for the professional to help understand what their client actually needs to help uplift them and motivate them. And when we look at children as well, if our children are really active before they go to bed, we don't want them to jump into bed all harped up and no idea of sleep or thought of sleep. So even putting some calming music on in the background, they don't have to sit and consciously listen to it, because on an unconscious level for all of us, we're still absorbing the sounds and the frequencies of the music. When we go to a picnic, even tuning into the sounds of nature, the birds, the sound of the wind through the trees. The next time you're out in nature, and if you hear the wind, notice where it's coming from, and you can actually hear the wind flowing through the trees, through the shrubs. And this is how people, even with nature, can take that breath and bring themselves into that calmer, more centered and grounded state. And so always checking that if there's any mental health conditions, if somebody's pregnant, they won't go to the really intense vibrations of the sound healing that can impact them. However, on the flip side, when we seek out maybe a group, go and try something for something new, either the one-to-one or going into a group. You're socializing, you're connecting with people, and you're receiving that beautiful, what we often call a sound bath, bringing our energy back into balance, relaxing our muscles, quietening our mind so that we're able to feel refreshed, calmer, rejuvenated, and then be able to carry on with our life in a lot happier state.
Well, thanks for those tips, Barbara, and thanks for being on the program.
Thank you very much, Melissa.
If you'd like to know more about sound healing and Barbara, go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, another guest with an interesting topic.